Good morning from Los Angeles. Sorry about the delay, as you guys can imagine. Welcome to Trading with Sergio. It's Monday. Is it going to be Black Monday or is it going to be a reversal day? I don't know. Already did a ton of trading this morning, so pretty good so far. I mean, I'm solidly green with what I did this morning. The volatility is so high that I was fortunate enough to have orders in before the open in case Thinkorswim went down. Bought a bunch of NVDL, 2x ETF of NVIDIA calls around 50 cents. And last ones are for sale for 1.5. I sold them as high as 2, so that put me solidly in green. I'm going to keep it on today for a while. If you guys can hear a murmur in the background, I usually don't watch CNBC, but today I'm just listening, very little volume in the background. I have a couple of things to get off my chest. It is, I don't know how to, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Okay, so I did vote for Trump. Again, this is not political. However, I have a very analytical mind. My background is finance, economics. Declaring nuclear war, economic nuclear war, is not going to get us anywhere. So if the idea is to lower interest rates by putting the economy in a recession, you guys have achieved it. We're definitely going to go in a recession. Why you might say everything is fine, unemployment is fine, inflation is going down, interest rates are going down. Interest rates should not be going down because the economy is going into a recession. Over the last, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, right? So liquidity has been taken out of the system. You're going to say, how? Well, when the market goes down by $10 trillion, that's $10 trillion worth of liquidity that's going to disappear. Obviously, losses have been taken if you had losses, but then also profits have been taken because people have had massive profits over the last 2 years. But declaring nuclear war, economic nuclear war, I don't think is the right thing to do. Look, I agree with what they're trying to do in general. However, the speed of things that they're doing it with, it's like break things, we'll fix it later. Attitude is not going to work. You cannot run a country like Elon Musk ran Twitter, right? What did he do? He went in, he literally walked in with a kitchen sink and he fired 7,000 people. Is Twitter still working? Yes. But comparing that to running a government for 360 million people is literally apples to oranges. A lot of people say, yeah, we need efficiency. I agree. A lot of people say we need to get rid of fraud. I agree. A lot of people say, we need to control the debt. I've been saying it for the last 6-8 months on this channel. I agree. However, the way you go at it is not conducive to success for the people who you're trying to help. If the people you're really trying to help is the average American, okay, is not by declaring economic nuclear war around the globe. Literally, that's what we're doing. That's what we did. And now it's become this elementary school playground situation, right? You have China, you have US. The other ones probably will come to the table and talk about it. But egos need to be put aside here because trillions, literally tens of trillions of dollars is getting wiped out. Just on its own, that probably will be enough to put us in a recession. I've spoken about this before. People are spending on credit cards. The credit card defaults are going up. And I am not sure at the moment cooler heads need to prevail. But knowing, I don't know the man obviously, but his ego, Mr. Trump's ego, President Trump's ego, and President Xi's ego. So retaliate, back and forth. It's like playing poker or two little kids in the elementary school playground saying, my dad's bigger than you, is going to beat you up. It's not the way to do things. The people the administration is trying to help is going to get hurt. We put tariffs in, reciprocal or not. When China brings it back and say, okay, we're putting tariffs on you. And then today, Mr. President Trump said, well, you do that on April 9th, we're going to put 50% extra tariffs on you. If you're trying to lower the debt and the deficit and trade deficit and the national debt of this country, you got to do it differently. You have to fix domestic, spending first before you try to collect from the globe a few $100 billion and create tax cuts and give it back to the people, because that has a lag effect. The lag effect probably is months, if not years, quarters. In the meantime, you're going to put everybody in a recession. Once you put them in a recession, people are going to lose jobs. So the exact people that the administration is trying to help are the ones that are going to get hurt the most. Yes, on Twitter, a lot of billionaires now are complaining, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't give a rat's ass about that. But what I'm saying is going at it this way, I think, is the wrong way. If the intent was to put the country in a recession, congratulations. That's been accomplished. But look at the interest rates today. They're shooting up. If the intent was to lower inflation, congratulations. It's going to happen, because when we do go in a recession, consumer spending is going to get slashed. People are going to tighten their belts. They're not going to spend. And we're going to go in a recession, because close to 70% of our GDP comes from consumer spending, which is on plastic mostly. So this is not a rant. I agree with what they're trying to do. But the speed of things that they're trying to do, I think, is a little too fast. I also agree that they want to bring back manufacturing to the U.S., but I think that ship has sailed a long time ago. Will it happen? I hope it does, because it will create nice, high-paying jobs. Middle class will come back, which has disappeared over the last 20 years. But it will take time, right? The U.S. government cannot be run like a corporation. Are there people who don't need to be there? Of course. Should they be let go? Of course. But the point is, if you guys know Los Angeles, I'm from LA. If you guys know LA, there is a place called Marina del Rey. Okay, Marina del Rey is a beautiful, beautiful area of Los Angeles, Pacific Ocean, and it is thousands of boats, from 20-foot boats to 200-foot yachts are parked there. Okay, what the administration is trying to do is trying to maneuver a massive oil tanker without hitting anything. That's as good as an analogy as I can come up with. I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think you're going to hit a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to destroy a lot of stuff to, fix things. I don't think it's the way to do things. And this back and forth that we're going, egos shooting bullets, economic bullets at the moment. We don't know if this is going to turn out into something else. I sure God hope not. Is not the way to do things. I am not saying back down, but I think de-escalate is the proper thing to do here, for a little bit anyway. Again, it's not about the market. Market's going to do what it's going to do. I'm going to make money either way. It doesn't make any difference to me. But people who are retiring with 401ks, people with IRAs, their portfolios got destroyed over the last month. I mean, it's a fact. At the end of the quarter, now actually the quarter ended, they're going to get their quarterly statements. Most people, they're going to look at it in shock. They're not going to believe what they're looking at, down 20-30% every portfolio. So there is a way to do this. I think the way to do this is cut domestic spending first, you know, slap Washington some sense, as opposed to try to raise a few $100 billion from the globe by putting tariffs on. In the meantime, 10, 15 trillion dollars is getting wiped out. I don't think it's a good exchange. I do understand economics. I don't think it's a good exchange. For the long term, I do believe, the only thing I believe in, short-term pain, long-term gain, that I believe in. But you also have to understand there's a time component in all of this. What is the time component? There's midterm elections coming up. Look, as much as politicians are politicians, you know, President Trump as his people and senators, they will lose seats. I mean, if we go into recession, the midterm elections are coming up shortly, in a year and, you know, a few months. And if the House flips back to the Democratic side, now we're going to have gridlock. Now nothing is going to get done. So I hope they're seeing this. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're brilliant people there. I hope they're seeing this. But being the bully in the, you know, school playground, saying my way or the highway, may not work. Because look, we let China get to where it got to. We let Japan get to where it got to. We let Europe get to, you know, by just buying a lot more stuff than selling to them. That's been going on for years. Now, all of a sudden saying, yeah, we're going to bring manufacturing back to the U.S., high-paying jobs. I take my hat off. I think it's necessary, because we used to manufacture a lot. We don't manufacture anything now, right? We're a service industry, service economy. So doing all of this at the speed that it's being done, with the, you know, saying that, yeah, the world needs us. If we don't buy from them, their economy is going to get hurt worse than ours, is like dropping nuclear bombs all over the place and say, I killed more than you killed. I'm like, everybody loses in a nuclear war. Well, this is not a physical nuclear war, but this is an economic nuclear war. Everybody's going to lose. American consumers definitely going to lose, because we are used to buying cheap goods, relatively cheap goods made relatively well. If that's all going to get moved back to the US, okay, right? It's going to create some high-paying jobs, but then consumer incomes adjusted to inflation over the last 10 years have not gone up enough to pay these high valuations, high prices for these goods that we've been so accustomed to. Again and again, I'm saying I do understand what they're trying to do, and finish it with that. I think the speed of it is a little too fast, and this you know, school playground attitude of, you know, my brother is bigger than you, my dad's bigger than you, is going to come beat your dad up, doesn't work. It seems like it at the moment. That's what's happening. And what is that doing? It's adding massive amounts of volatility. I mean, it's even making me nauseous, and I'm okay with this volatility. Like today was, you know, I don't know where the market is now, but I'll go to my position screen in a minute. So what I'm going to do for you guys to join the live, because I'll probably be on a couple hours today, I urge you to show up. Okay, I'm going to put the link up. If you guys want to come on, you're more than welcome to. We can civilly discuss all these things. And here's the link. All right, let's see what's going on. Yeah, I was early today, Vic. Good morning. And I was actually going to start at 6:30, just to 6:15 actually, a.m., just to show you guys what I was trading. But then I thought, you know, I need to focus on what I'm doing. Mr. Gambit says, I'll tell you, Sergio. Yeah, I don't know about that. You know, I think he's surrounded with the right people. You know, if you didn't like Trump then, you're definitely not going to like Trump now. No, that's never going to happen. It has absolutely no sense. Country's not going to default on anything. Well, we can't leave the same thing. I mean, we're going to disagree on this quite a bit. If you want to grab the link and come on, you're more than welcome to. We can discuss it. Not debate it, discuss it. It's not about the best interest of an individual. It's the best interest of the country. Do you think the country is being run for the last, I don't know. This is not a Republican Democrat issue. We cannot. I don't want to pass on $37 trillion in debt to my kids. Simple. You can't run a country like that. Yes, that's a different story because I know what you do. And in fact, I was in shock. I was gas prices with crude oil going down, crashing literally down to 60. Gas prices went up almost $1 in LA. I have no idea. That remains to be seen, but I kind of agree with that. Because by the time that happens, supply chain issues are going to be so massive that prices of everything are going to go through the roof. So I do kind of agree with that. Yes, I've been in Los Angeles over 40 years. We're going to get through it all. I've seen it go up and down. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to come to that. I hope it's not going to come to that. I really don't. I hope it's not going to come to actual bullets. Although China can do that, and they go over and take Taiwan, then we have something completely different going on. Well, I mean, you have to think about, you're just thinking very, you're thinking in a box. Think outside the box. If you agree with trade deficits, if you agree with the national debt, then we're going to disagree. Respectfully agree to disagree. So anyway, so here's the StreamYard link. Here it is. You guys want to show up? Please show up. Grab it. I'll be here for probably a couple hours today. And let's go to what we did. I mean, it was a great half hour, to be honest with you, with that volatility. I do have Telegram chat group for the members only. So if you do want to become a member, you're more than welcome to. I put actually all my trades on the board, what I'm going to do this morning. For them, again, it's not financial or trading advice, but I do tell them what I'm doing. And hopefully they did, transact like I did and made some money. And so let's go take a look where we are. We're just kind of, in the morning, we just sold off hard, opened low. Hope you guys can see this. I'm pretty sure you guys can. Let's go take a look. All right, so this is the 2-minute chart, but let's go look at some charts. And then I'll tell you guys what I did and what the positions are. I'm still about, I would say, 70% cash because I day traded a couple of things. But because if you buy an option at 50 cents and it gets to $2 within half hour, then you got to sell it. Volatility is definitely there. So, but then I put on some May positions, May synthetics, and then I'll show you guys that in a minute. So it's pretty rare that my account looks like this, meaning, full of positions. So I'll go from the top. Let's go from the top. I had 1,000 shares of MSTU with covered calls last week with the 550. Stock closed at 550. Of course, it didn't get called away. And with Bitcoin going down over the weekend and what's happening today, this thing is wild. The low is 401, high is 570. But when it got up to 570, as you guys can see here, 2 -5s. I didn't add to it. I probably will at some point. And I sold weekly, expiring on Friday. I sold 5 calls for 75 cents, and I sold 5.5 calls for 55 cents. They're down to 10 cents, 20 cents. Do I buy them back? No. The underlying is down to 438. Should I add to it? Probably not. I'll just wait. Not going to add too much other than the positions that I want to own in May, let's say. Has the market bottomed for good? No, I don't think it has. I think market is now in the process of pricing in a recession. And by the time we get done with that, I think we may definitely have another leg down. If you guys followed me at all, I've been saying there's going to be a multi-leg down move. Are we in a bear market? I said that already 2 weeks ago. Yes, we are. month ago, I said every rally should be sold as opposed to dips bought. In fact, that's what's happening now. Every rally is being sold, even after a massive sell-off that we had. But then it gives me opportunity to get into things, and I'll show you guys what I did on my trading account, and I'll tell you guys what I did in my investment account. My trading account going into today was about 70% cash, liquid, no margin, obviously. I'm still about 70% cash, added to certain things that I actually don't mind owning. Yeah, I mean, these are opportunities. You got to take advantage of it. You're going to say, well, what if it goes lower? It goes lower, then I'll own it. I don't mind it. So MSTU, we're just going to leave it alone. That's one. GGLL, which is the 2X ETF of Google. Google is, by the way, one of the stocks. I just bought stocks in my I buy stocks in my investment account. I don't do options that much. I bought Google at 142.5 this morning. Literally got up to 152.5, 52.85 after I bought it, and I'm not going to sell it. Maybe I should have. It's down to 145.5. So that's a long-term hold. I like Google at these prices. So that's one. But in the trading account, I own 275 now of the July 2X ETF 45 calls. I'm paying like 25-30 cents for them. On an actual bounce, not today. Today it seems like we're selling back off again because President Trump said, oh, if they do that, I'm going to put 50% tariffs on April 9th. The market was just about to turn around. Sure enough, it didn't. It got slammed. Oh, okay, fine. So I did that. I own those. Those will double even if GGLL gets up to 31, 32, which is the 2X ETF. Obviously, underlying is Google. We get back to 152. These things will be 50, 60 cents, and we'll chuck them out. I established a position on SOXL by doing some synthetics. These are Mays. So I did the I sold the May 10 puts, May 11 puts. So I sold the May 10 puts at 228. They're 282. I sold the May 11 puts at 288. So you guys have to understand, I'm willing to get assigned. Okay. I don't mind owning SOXL, let's say, with the 10 level. 10 minus 227 is 7 and change. SOXL today, right now, is 862. So I'm willing to get assigned, all of it. So I did 30 options. I did the 10s, 11s, 12s, and 13s. Okay. The 13s I did at 356, 5 of them. So that means what? 13 minus 3.5 is 9.5. I did the 12s at 180. So that means 1020. I did the 11s at 288. That means just about 8. And I did the 10s at 227. That's about 775. So overall, my cost is going to be right about $8.5, maybe 870 range. And that's where we are. If I get a sign, today's low, by the way, on 725. You could go lower, but I don't mind owning SOXL at those levels. So next one is Robin, ROBN. Robin is the 2X ETF of Hood, Robinhood. So I did 20 lots of those. This morning, right at the open, I got off 8s. I saw going back to SOXL. The other thing I'm doing is these are synthetics. Synthetics meaning I'm selling the puts, buying the calls, but overall I'm doing it with a credit, right? So I'm long May 15 calls at the same time. So my delta is higher, okay? I'm doing at the money puts, or maybe a little bit in the money puts, pretty aggressive actually, and buying some out of the money calls. If we do get a bounce here, which I'm pretty sure we will, I don't know from where, may go another 5% lower, but that's the way I want. That's basically owning a stock without owning the stock. So you put up less money, and then that's called the synthetic, right? So I'm doing this. I did the same thing on Robin, ROBN. This morning, in fact, I did a little bit more of it. So on ROBN, I'm short the May 10 puts with an average cost of $3. So that means my cost, if I do get a sign on ROBN, will be 7. And this morning, I don't know how I got this trade off, but I had it overnight in there. So I sold $8 puts for 4.5. 8 minus 4.5 is, what is that? $3.5? I don't know how I got that off. I honestly don't know. That's the cost right there. I mean, ROBN is 825. And at the same time, I bought the May 16th $15 calls. So it's again a synthetic. So if we do bounce here, 10, 11, those calls will go up, the puts will go down. I can close the position, I can hold the position, I can just sell the calls, take the profit, keep the puts alone, get a sign. All kinds of things can happen between now and May 16th. These 39 days. 39 days is 39 lifetimes these days. And this morning I started doing the same thing, the synthetics on SoFi. When it was down to about 850, 860, somewhere in that range. So I sold with an average cost of 165. I sold the 10 puts and bought the 12 calls. So I bought the 10 put. I sold the 10 puts with an average cost of 165. So 10 minus 165 will put me at 835, which is the old high, which I would love to own SoFi at 835. Having been 18 a month ago, and the calls I paid for SoFi calls, I pay 40 cents. They're 55 cents, so that's already working out. That synthetic was done all this morning. The big trade this morning was NVDL, which is the 2x ETF of NVIDIA. I had an open order sitting there. I had already bought 30 of them with an average cost of 62 cents last Friday. If you guys saw that, it's all my positions, by the way, are Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They're on the community page of the YouTube channel. This morning I bought 30 more at 50 cents and 50 more at 40 cents. And I mean, look, I got locked out. Today's low was 38 cents. Today's high is $2. I sold most of it about $1.25 to $1.75 range. I got few off at $2, so that's like a 4x. That's what made me green, actually. That's it. That's what put the account green. But long story short, yeah, that's where we are. That's where the account is. I'm solidly green for the day. I don't think I'll go red unless we really absolutely fall apart at the end of the day, which is there is a possibility. So here are the charts. Let's look at the charts. Let me see if there's some questions. I'm going to be on for a while today. So if you guys want to come on, please do so. Luis, good morning, Luis. I think you made some money. Mr. Gambit says, grab the link, Mr. Gambit. I have a feeling a lot of billionaires are going. It's not that simple. You're just making now you're stretching things out. It's not as simple as you think it is. I mean, they could be short the market, whatever, it doesn't make any difference really. I don't know. I mean, a guy on Robinhood could be doing the same thing. I've been saying market's going to go down for 2 months. You could have bought puts. Why does it have to be just a billionaire? I'm pretty sure a lot of people did. Look, Mr. Gambit, for every buyer, there's a seller. If somebody's selling puts, somebody's buying puts. It doesn't have to be just billionaires. It could be your neighbor on Robinhood. Anybody could do it. Why didn't you do it? If you were that negative, why didn't you buy some puts? If you thought this was happening, hindsight is 20/20. It's easy to say these things after they happen. Before they happen, to step up and do it and put your money at risk is a completely different story. But again, I'm not, I'm not trying to disagree. There you go. There's one of my members. Hats off to you, Luis. NVDL twice and AAPU as well 105%. There you go. Half hour. Pretty decent money. Apple, AAPU. Look, we'll go to the charts. You guys will see the ridiculous volatility we're getting here. It'll be all right. I wouldn't worry about it. I think there'll be a couple-day rally here. Mr. Gambit says, I did a little bit, but I could just imagine the guy who's sitting there with 100 million to play. Yeah, well, it's also risking 100 million. So you're risking $1, he's risking 100 million. Percentages are percentages. I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever, right? Because he's risking it. I mean, after it happened, it's easy to say, "Oh, see what I told you so." But when you're transacting at that moment, the price at that moment is the price. There are no guarantees. Market could have made an all-time high. If there were no tariffs, market probably would have made an all-time high. But if you read the tea leaves correctly, and especially if you listen to anything I said over the last 2 months, I had this thesis that they're intentionally going to put the economy in a recession because they're at odds with the Fed and they want lower rates, and lower rates should not come at the expense of the economy going in a recession. That's the only thing that I disagree with. I disagree with a couple other things as well. But so, big money is always money. If you can make big money, you can lose big money. It cuts both ways, Mr. Gambit. It's not that simple. All right, so let's look at some charts. Not that they mean anything these days, honestly. A lot of people look at charts. I don't know. What's the big deal with charts? I look at it. I have a reference point, But, so here's the daily. I mean, what is there to say? If this is not a crash, you guys want to sugarcoat this? I don't know. Measuring wise, we got there. Let me extend this uptrend line because it kind of broke. Let me do this. All right, so this is 1 year, 1 day. Let's look at 3 year. Let's take back a little bit and see where the picture is at. Okay, this is where we are, by the way, right here. So this morning we got down to about 481 on the SPY. The measurement is there. Measurement was about 484 actually. Measurement meaning, so you take the high, first leg, right? The leg height was 613. Again, technicals are technicals. It's always the past. So 550. So 65 points or 63 points. Take 63 points from 576. That puts us at like 412. And today's low was, 512. Today's low was 481. So we took that out. So there is this uptrend that goes from the 2021 low when they were raising the rates. That's a solid uptrend. So we're above it now, but we don't want to close below that. And then there is one more uptrend that is, I think, a lot more important if you're a technician. And there is one other one. So the other uptrend is COVID low to the 2021 low, 2022 low. And that's running right at the 200 EMA, which is about 477, 478. So we could, on this leg, could get there. Now, we don't want to break these uptrends like, hot knife through butter. Ultimately, you guys may not like this. If the market's going to price in a recession, so this leg will be over. We will have a little dead cat bounce, maybe 50% rally, and then roll over and, retest. If we can't hold, then we're going to make a lower low. The low of 2021, 2022 interest rate hike cycle, which lasted about a year, and the market sold off from 500 to 353, it's about 30%. And right now we're approaching, so we were at 615, let's say. Today's low at 485. That's 200 and, I don't know, what is that? 230 points. 230 on 615 is about 30%. We had a 30% sell-off, so we're not going to sugarcoat this. It was a crash. And today's low, by the way, almost coincides with the old high, which is right here. That was the high before the sell-off in 2021. So technically, if we were going to bounce from somewhere, this was the spot to bounce from. Again, technically, right? But everything is lower. I think if the market's going to price in a recession, proper recession, I think the market's going to go to 350 to 380 range on SPY. So that's 3,500 to 3,800 on SPX. I will talk about that, why I think that's very high likelihood of that happening. Yes, we're in a bear market. Yes, buckle up. Yes, but then just to show you guys the intraday volatility that we're experiencing. So this is a one day 2 minute chart. We hit 481. So each bar is 2 minutes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, within half hour, literally. We from 481 on 482 on SPY, we bounced to 523. 40 handles in half an hour. Think about it, people. That's 7% from low to high in half an hour. This is SPX. And then now we're just kind of going meandering sideways. There was a huge tail here, sell off, because Trump said, oh, you want to put us tariffs on us? Well, we're going to put extra 50% on them. And sure enough, market just whooshed. We're just going sideways. We're the 10-minute, 10-day, intraday is still under its VWAP. Nothing really happy to talk about. But my experience doing this for years says that today's range of 523 to 480, 43 points, does not usually happen on the middle of a movement. It either happens on a top or a bottom. And if you guys think this is a top, and then we have problems, Houston. Okay, so MACD is horrible. Everything is horrible. Charts are horrible. There's nothing to really sugarcoat this. This has been a crash. So QQQ, same thing. You know, if you guys look at picture going back, there is a uptrend in triple Qs that's all the way down to about 330. That's the COVID and the 2022 low uptrend. 335. We're at 420, so we're only like 20% from there. Will we get there? Potentially. This definitely is a bear market. Now we're in a short and intermediate term downtrend. Long term, we're still in an uptrend. On this leg, we may get down to 390-ish on triple Qs. So, but I think the bounce will come before that happens. And again, the volatility, right? So let's look at the NVDL calls that I traded this morning and AAPU calls. Okay, those are all done. So this is 1 minute, 1 day, 2 minute. NVDL, which is a 2x ETF of NVIDIA, 23 low, 32 high. That's why those calls went from 40 cents to $2. And I traded the 35s. April 17th, by the way, 35s. Regular expiration in 2 weeks. When you have a $9 range in something, if you're on the right side, you're going to make money. But now we're just kind of going sideways. We're kind of building this. I'm hoping we close green. If we close green, that means this leg is over. That's the key reversal day that I'm looking for. And this is AAPU that I traded. I put in Goldman Sachs. I couldn't do Goldman Sachs because the price did not get there. But then if you want to become a member, please click join. This is AAPU. That went from 17 to 21. That's the 2x ETF of Apple. Now, Apple is not doing much because if we put another 50% tariffs on China, so Apple went from 175 to literally almost to 195. This is Apple, people. This is a $2-3 trillion company. So we're trading stocks like soybeans and pork bellies in my old days. And so the ones I did, which I'm going to hold, those are May, SoFi. This is the 2-minute chart, and I'll go to the dailies. A low of 860, high of 1060, 20% range. The other one is SOXL, which is the 2x ETF of SOX index, semiconductor index. 723 low, almost 11, 1098 high. Okay. If this doesn't make you dizzy, I don't know what will. And here's, so Robinhood, I'll talk about my long-term portfolio in a second. Robinhood went from 29.66 low to 37.11 high, and Robin, ROBN, is the 2x ETF of Robinhood, and that went from 605 low to 962 high. So when it was down there, I don't know how I got those 8s off at 450, but God bless whoever bought those from me because they're down to like $1.50 already. God bless you. Thank you for the money. Again, it's not over. There may. He could be back down to 6. But I think I would love to get assigned. Well, it's 8:45. If the stock is here at the end of May, I'm not going to get assigned. But yeah, so that was crazy. And GGLL is the one that I'm buying. I have 275 calls now. That thing went from 2360 to 2769. All it needs to get to is about 31. Those are July's, by the way. That's why I'm buying those at like lottery ticket style. So let's get to the long-term portfolio. What did I do today? I had open orders sitting in the morning, okay, from yesterday. I had 142.5 on Google. That's the GOOGL. That's the Class A shares. Google was 207. I bought them at 142. I like Google here, although their search business may be in a little trouble, but looking long term, I do like Google about 140 range, and I bought it exactly where I wanted to buy it. What else did I buy? Well, I bought SOXL in that account, just shares. Okay. And I bought ROBN in that account, just shares. And I bought Kava in that account. Paid 72 for it. We're at the low, I think was, what was the low? 69.40. Okay, so it's 78 now. But again, these are not to be traded. These are my long-term. So my long-term account has these 5 issues, and I have Unity software in there as well. I had bought that already, so I bought it about 21, wrote it to 31, down to 17. Again, long-term account. Don't trade much in those, but so yeah, those are the 5 stocks I have in the long-term portfolio. That's about 40% invested now. I still have 60% cash. On the trading account, it's a completely different story. I will just patient and be patient. Most of my short puts are May. Puts are to be sold because the implied volatility is so high that the money is really, really, really good. Let's go through some charts. And some of my stocks, I mean, this is wild out there, okay? Affirm. I mean, look at this thing. How do you trade this, right? I don't even know what to say. 82 high after the last earnings. This morning hit 30. Now we're up to like 37. How does anybody do these? I don't even know. AMD. Looked like okay. Look at this thing. Oh my God. It hit 77, 75 this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 days ago, the high was 117.94 and 77 today. $40. These are not Uncle Bob's companies, people. These are massive, massive companies. Now, I had a China trade on, which we traded, got out. I am definitely looking to get back into my Chinese stocks, but I'm not going to do it individually. This is Alibaba. I was pulling back right to the 200-day EMA. I'm going to trade the 2X ETF of Alibaba, which is BABX. I do like it here. I'll probably buy the shares. The shares are down to 21.5. High was 46 about 10, 11 days ago. So if China is going to play the game, my gun is bigger than your gun game. Well, they have to fix their domestic economy first and massive stimulus. So I think they're going to do well, these local stocks. But as opposed to doing that, I'm definitely going to do BABA individually. But I'm looking at YIN, YINN. That's the 3X ETF of the FTSE. So this thing was like 10 days ago, it was like 54. We're at 22.97. So we're pulling back to right about this range right here. I absolutely wouldn't mind owning it right about 20. In fact, I may even put the trade on while I'm talking to you guys. How am I going to do that? Sell the puts, buy the calls. Same thing, but maybe go a little longer term. Let me look at a 3-year version of this thing. Yeah, right about here, 1920. Don't mind at all. Actually, I'm going to buy some of this for my investment account, the shares. So that'll be number 6. So I created a decent portfolio that way. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do yin. Bitcoin got smashed over the weekend. This is 2X ETF of, not 2X. This is BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, IBIT. Yeah, we're kind of breaking down now, but as you guys know, I trade MSTR and MSTU. MSTR is at 261. Revisiting the low on MSTU. I probably should have sold the stock, honestly, when it got up to 575. Because I had bought 1,000 shares with an average cost of 515, had sold the calls of 55 cents last week. They expire worthless. I go, I'll just keep 1,000 shares, sell the calls. Because now I'm down 80 cents on the stock. The calls I sold are not going to be enough to protect me, and I have to wait all the way to Friday. That's why I kind of despise cover call writing. But then, if you look at it, so 515 cost, right? Okay, so sold the calls, they expired worthless. That's 55 cents. My cost is down to 460. I sold the calls again. That's another 50, 60, 70 cents I took in. My cost is going to go down again. I mean, if I do this every week and stock stays, let's say, stable, I don't get called away somewhere around 5, I'm going to own it at a zero cost. So that's why I'm doing it. And it's only 1,000 shares. So I'm not concerned with that, at least. Well, that's why I'm not adding to it, honestly. There's no point. Goldman Sachs. I like Goldman Sachs at these levels, right about 440 level, which it hit this morning, right back to where it was. Yeah, I do like Goldman Sachs here. I think they're the best of the bunch. If you do have any interest in doing that, Robinhood, I'm trading with ROBN. That's Robinhood, 34. I do like Robinhood quite a bit, under 30 especially, but then I'm doing ROBN. I'm doing this thing. So I have the synthetics on ROBN. That's ROBN right there. Wild, just wild. I mean, when Robinhood was at 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 days ago, when it was 50, this was $18.63. This morning hit 6. I'm selling 10 and 8 puts. I don't mind owning it at $8 at all. I don't know. Microsoft dead meat. I'm not interested. Yeah, I mean, stocks are wild. It's just absolutely wild. One other thing I bought in my long-term portfolio, now that I'm going through the list, Nike. I bought Nike at, what did I pay for Nike? I paid 54 and change. Okay. It's 53.65. Yeah, long-term portfolio. So I have 7 stocks in the long-term portfolio. So the way I do that is I pick a dollar amount and I invest equally. So all of them are equal amounts. So if I'm going to put in 30% of my portfolio, if it's $100,000 portfolio, I'm going to spend 30,000. I take 30,000, divide it into 6, right? That's 5,000 each. So $5,000 of Nike is, let's say, 100 shares of Nike, and a few hundred shares of SOXL, or Google. It'll be, I don't know, like 40 shares or something like that, right? So that's how I do it. I don't do shares. I just do dollar amounts. Nvidia, wild, just absolutely wild. Look at the range. I mean, this is a important uptrend on Nvidia, by the way. Again, as you guys know, I don't like drawing too many lines on my charts, but this is going back to 2022 low with the interest rate hiking cycle low, and that was about 85. This morning we got to about 87. So I think Nvidia here should be okay. But downtrend, man. I mean, everybody loves Nvidia. I don't know. I just trade what's in front of me. There's a 1 day, 2-minute chart of Nvidia. 86.62 low, within half hour, 101.75. This is this morning right here. Well, that's when I traded NVDL. So now we're just kind of going sideways. If we roll over here, market's in trouble still. But we'll see. Put call ratios are going nuts. Everything is saying that we should be at a very short-term bottom here, but then you never know. I'm not overly bearish at the moment, but I'm bearish overall. So SOXL is the other one. Yeah, just kind of going sideways. Hopefully we'll do breakout. We'll close green on all of these. TLT is mine. You guys know I was on TLT, right? I sold it with really, really nice profits. I'm definitely looking to get back into TLT. I still think interest rates are going to go lower. So when TLT goes down, interest rates are going higher. So today TLT sells off a lot. That means like interest rates are shooting up today. So this is the way TLT is looking at it. So TLT is saying interest rates, bond markets are saying we're playing my gun's bigger than your gun. Inflation is going to soar. Fed's caught in a box. They have to raise rates to kill inflation again. And so whatever the administration is trying to do is not working, right? And the bond market, they're telling the Fed, lower the interest rates. The Fed goes, we're not going to lower interest rates because inflation is going to shoot up. Plus, with your tariff structure that you put on, inflation is going to go higher faster. So we're not going to cut rates. Are we crazy? We're data dependent. And Trump cannot fire Powell. He's the only person he cannot fire. So I do like TLT, anything with an 8 in front of it. I had the synthetics. I had short 85 puts for March of 2026, long 95 calls and short the 110 calls of the same expiration. Did really well on those, but I hadn't established a full position. But I still think interest rates are going to go lower because not because the administration wants it. It's because we're going in a recession. In a recession, Fed has to cut rates. There's no ifs and buts about it. So I think that's how it's going to work out. And I am very bullish on the TLT. I'm not as bullish as I'm very bullish on China. I really am. People say, "Oh, you're crazy." I'm like, "Okay, fine." It's another trade, but yin. Let's take a look at yin. Let's see where we are. $20. I would love to own this at $20. But there is a way to own this at $20. Let's take a look. Trade yin. Yin. Let's see where we are. Let's look at May. May 20s are $3. Wow, that's 161 IV. Interesting. Okay. And where are the 25 calls? Wow, it's skewed to the call side. How is that? I mean, we're at 23. And the calls and the prices are skewed to the, well, they're both out of the money. Okay, so if I did a 20 put 20 call situation, I have to put up money. I don't want to put up money out of my pocket. What do we do? Okay, let's go longer. Let's go June. We don't have June. Shit. Okay, let's go to July. July 20 is $4. Not worth it. 122 IV. I'd rather do the short-term ones. Rather do the Mays. Where are the Aprils at? Do I want to own this under 20 by April 17th? Yes. 220. 247 IV. Do I want to own this at 1780 in a week, in 9 trading days? I absolutely do. Let's see what 5 of them is going to cost me to sell. $5,400 buying power to take in $1,000 for 9 days. That's 25%. And do I want to own at 1780? I definitely do. Well, I'm going to be on for a while. Let's see what happens to the price. I definitely like this trade. 23, 3 out of the money, $2. I'm going to own it at 1780. Okay, if it does reverse, I just don't want to make $2 only. 25 calls are 270. I'm not going to pay that. That's crazy money. Okay, how about I sell the April 17 puts and buy the May 30 calls. Let's do that and sell that. Okay. And May 30 calls. Where are those at? May 30 calls 235. Wow, they're expensive. Gosh. Even money, huh? Selling the Aprils, buying the 30 calls, May 30s. Selling the April 17, 20s. How much is that going to cost me? 6,500, same thing. But not credit though. Well, 14, 15 cent credit. So that means I'm going to own it at 20 bucks. Yeah. You guys have any ideas? Okay. How about we do this? How about we do the April and then April 20 puts. I have a better way. I have a better way. Let's do this. April trade. Do the same thing I did on TLT. So sell the April 20 puts at 225. Buy the May 25 calls. And sell the 35 calls. Let's see if we can make it up with a credit. Let's see what kind of credit we're going to do that with. Wow. That's it? That's not enough, man. May 25 are 340. Yep, that's 11 cent credit. Okay, how about 25 30s? 25 30s. This is how you structure a trade, people. Those are at 95 cent credit. That may be better. So in April, I could own yin at 19 and have the long side as well. Huh. Okay. Selling the April 20, buying the May 25, selling the May 30s. What if I did this all May? I'll bet you it'll be more credit. Let's do that. Let's take a look at that. May 16. 182 credit. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. How much is that going to cost me? Oh, we're saying $6,500. 190 credit. That's 18. I own the yin at 18 in May. 6,200. With okay upside. I like this trade. I'm going to think about it and then probably do it. I mean, why wouldn't I do it? Okay, China keeps tanking. Is that why I don't do it? Okay. Why wouldn't I own yin in May at 18 bucks, which is right exactly where it was? Anybody? Well, I'm going to go back to the chat. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this. Let's see. Yeah, why wouldn't I? The low is 13 on yin. Is that why? Is that why? If I own this thing at 18, the low is 13 for 3 years. This is about 18. This is 13. What is the long version of this thing? This thing was 600. Never mind. Yeah, I think I like that trade quite a bit. Yeah, I don't see why not. And if we do get a short-term bounce back to the 200 EMA at 33, I'll even make money. I don't have to get stuck with it. I'm definitely going to do that. I think it's a good trade. Yeah, market's just doing nothing, going sideways. Yeah. SoFi, I definitely want to add if I haven't get a chance at $1.50 range of the synthetics. NVDL, I have my last 5 to sell at 1.5 that I bought at 62 cents. I have 5 left. I did. And that's just one single trade puts you to green. What else is there to say, guys, gals? We're rallying now. Something just must have happened. We are flying. I can see it. Uh-huh. Why? Let's close the market green today, can we, folks? Yeah, that was a big-ass bar. I can see on the prices. What happened? What did Trump say now? There's a 2-minute chart. You know, the other thing I want to do today, before the day is out, I want to do some 0 DTE put credit spreads. Let's take a look at those as well. About 11:30, 12 o'clock, I'll put those on. Let's look at SPX. April 7th. We're at 5,000, let's say, on SPX. Well, today's low is 40. What's today's low? 48.35. Let's look at the 4,800 puts. What's happening? I think our swim froze. I'm not surprised. No, did it freeze really? Okay, shut up. No performance problem. Everything is good. Okay, 4,800 puts are 280. 280. 4780s are 235. What is that? 60 cents? 4780s, 45 cents credit. Or do I do the 4850, 4825? Let's see how much. How is that going to work? 4850, 48 by the 4825s. Yeah, $1.80 credit for 5 of them. It's probably going to cost me like $15,000 to do it, but that money is sitting in the account. Why wouldn't I do it? Are we going to go to 48.50 today by the end of the day? Implied volatility is 145 on these. This is ridiculous. Yeah, it's going to cost me about 11,000 to do 5, and I'm going to take in 1,000. That's not good risk yet. I'll rather do it at $1 with an hour to go. Put the money in the bank. What is happening? Oh, we just see those. This is what they do. They're just massive, big up bar and then die. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's like too much. Even for me, just too much volatility, people. Too much. Let's go, chat. Take a look at the chat. Let's see if some of you want to come on. Sign of capitulation, CNBC. You guys are so bad. Look at those bars. Holy shit. Look at the volume. Okay. Well, I wanted the market to reverse today, so if it does, then I'll have a 5-figure update. I'll turn the market up. Let me increase the volume a little bit. I guess it was fake news. That bar got eliminated. Unbelievable. The shits that's going on is just nuts. This is not pork bellies, people. This is trillions of dollars we're dealing with here. It's ridiculous, really. But again, what it is what it is. What can I do? All right. Anybody coming on? Nobody? Here's the link. Come on now, people. I'm going to be here for another hour probably. I want some company. Anybody? Back down and back up. My dad's going to come beat your dad up. This is outrageous. Honest to freaking God, it's just outrageous. Draw a trend line and duplicate. That's how you can measure. I know how to measure, Vic. Thank you. Yes, I did. $100 more. Every Monday, buddy. I'm going to keep doing it. Mr. Gambit says, Sergio, I wish I could look at it. Well, yeah. This is the same thing. Show me the money here. They showed me the money. I took their money this morning. It's all about education, experience, whatever. Not education about over general, but market education. How about just sell the puts on the end? Yeah, I could do that, but I want to participate on the upside if we get a bounce. Okay, because that's the idea of putting synthetics on. Why do anybody do synthetics? They do synthetics because you're expecting a bounce. On the bounce, double whammy. On the way down, you're willing to get assigned. On the way up, you're making extra. If there is an up. That's the whole idea of synthetics. That's it. All right. Yeah, 2 days from now, we're putting 100% tariffs on China. Honestly, it's getting... April 9th? That's 2 days. Are they going to tank the market again? I don't know, man. I honestly don't know what to say. I know what to say. I can't say it on YouTube, otherwise I get demonetized. I mean, very sharp, severe short-term pain. Yep, now we're selling off. It's ridiculous. I agree. Xi is definitely not going to do that. Maybe I should go buy some puts. This is ridiculous, really. Well, I mean, I'm willing to get assigned whatever I did, so let's just leave it at that. I'm 70% cash. 100% tariffs? Did he really do that? Additional 50%, so we're at 100%. Get ready to pay more for everything at Walmart, people. I don't understand. I really don't understand. I'm trying to understand. Somebody explain this to me. I don't understand. Is that how you lower inflation? You want to help the middle class? You want to help the average American by increasing everything that they're buying by 50%? So you pay a lot now, but then a year from now, hopefully things will be a lot cheaper because China will come back with their tail between their legs. Is that what they're thinking? Is that what they're really thinking? So they're negotiating with everybody else except China. Why does he have such a hard on for China? I don't know. We put him there. Globalization. All the good jobs went there. I think the cat's out of the bag on that one. I'm not sure. I would have taken that big ass bar that I saw that I got excited about. Now we got it nullified. Oh, we'll see. I'm not concerned. Market will tell that if Thursday comes, they put the 100% tariffs on, and market's not down like 10% that day, then you know we bought them. Nvidia. Yeah, look at that big ass bar. Stock goes from 95 to 98 in one bar. and then we're back to 95. Yeah. Oh, everybody is cutting their S&P 500 targets now. Geniuses. Man, we're still going sideways. The market's hanging in there. So, but then at the end of the day, you know what happens, right? All the margin calls need to get cleaned up. They do it at the start of the day. They do it at the end of the day, last half hour. Supposedly there are some ridiculous margin calls. Gold has been tanking too. Everybody's selling gold to fucking cover up. Yep. Gold's dropped like $400 in the last like 4 days. This is the problem with this. You know, gold, massive down leg. But gold, Trump, I think, has been on TV or tweeted or had a news conference in 2 months, probably 5x more or 10x more than Biden had in 4 years. I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying. Unreal. Well, I said my piece. I don't know. Chaotic day, CNBC. That's why I don't like watching CNBC, because they make everything look horrible. China is not 905 China anymore. 90s China. That's very true. That's very true. Luis says I'm stuck with NVDL. May not be a bad thing, Luis. I have my last 5 for sale at 1.5. Yeah, let's take a look at yin one more time. I want to do that trade really badly. Why do I want to do it so badly? Somebody stop me. I think I have enough, but somehow I like that trade quite a bit. And the TLT trade. Well, let's take a look at the TLT trade. This is the biggest customer. Okay. I got you. It's a little short-sighted, I think, but let's take a look at the TLT trade. Where are we at TLT? Okay. What are we doing on TLT? Go to March again. We had the 85, 95, 110. March 2026. January, March. March 85 is 345. $345. March 95, 445. What if it gets worse? That's why I love CNBC. What if it gets worse? $105. Do I want to? Are we doing this in a credit again? To the put side? No, we're not. Let me see. Sell the 85s. Buy the 95s. And sell the 110s. Yep. 61 credit. Last time I did it, $1.50 range at 88 when I did it. $1.25 to $1.50 on the put side, and I got out with $1.50 credit on the call side. Huh. Which one would I do? Yin or this? Yin is more exciting. We're not rallying. Are we rallying? We are fucking rallying. Fuck. Let's do 5 yin. It's itching. It's becoming itchy. Sell 20s. Sell 20s. Buy 25s. and sell 30s. 146. I could have done it in 186. Let's put 5 at 1. Where would I do it at? Let's do it at 170, 160, 165. Or 150. Yeah, do one at 150. Yeah, we'll do 5 at 150. So we're selling the May 20 puts, buying the May. Should I give myself more upside? Okay, what if I stole the 32 calls? $32 calls. So selling the 20 puts, buying the 25 calls. We're rallying. Okay, we gotta do this bullshit. Selling the 20 puts, buying the calls, selling the 32s. 78 cents. $20, $30, $32, $32. That's 7 credit. Okay. We are rallying again. Or do I do Baba? Babax. BABX. Let's look at that. Let's look at that one. BABX. May 20s. Buy there, just spreads are so wide. 230, 510. That's not doable. Let's get a yen. You should. What's today's high? Today's high is 29. No, it's 23.60. We gotta do this. Let's do it. Yin. May. April 20s. 25s. Sell the 30s, April. 50-cent credit. 2 weeks. Yeah. 50-cent credit. Yeah, April's or May's. We are in the ballpark, I agree. We are in the ballpark of a bottom. Yes, we are. NVIDIA about to break out. Where's my NVDLs? Oh, let's see where we are. 145. Yeah, 150. I'll sell the rest. Let's look at Apple. AAPU. AAPU. April's. That's another trade. Sell the 20 puts, buy the 20 calls. April 17th. And for $2 credit, but then we're already in the money by $2, so that's not good. 18 puts, sell the 18 puts, buy the, this is AAPU, 2x ETF of Apple. And okay, so there's choices to yin. Why am I getting stuck on this thing, man? Is it a falling knife? I'm trying to talk myself out of it, people. You guys going to talk me out of it or no? Would you guys buy this chart? Would you guys buy this chart? Or would you wait until it gets down to 20? Ah, full dress press conference, White House. Another one. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Best trades you do are the trades you're not sure. I love the trade, but at 20, not at 23. Tomorrow morning, gap down, we'll get it done. 20 is great support. Yes, sir. What else is there to do? Anything else? We did SoFi, we did Robin, we did Soxo. That's about it. Oh, TJ the Wheel is here. Let's do it.
What's up, Sergio? I'm calling you.
What's up, buddy? Sorry, buddy. Sorry, I apologize. I was trying to put a trade together.
What are you up to? What are you contemplating over there?
I did a bunch of trades this morning right at the open. Let me turn CNBC off. Give me a minute because
Sure.
I don't pay attention to them that much, but then I listen to it.
Yeah,
once in a while, and on a day like today, I do listen to it.
For the ticker, I have the.
Give me 1 minute. Okay, there you go. Shut the fuck up, CNBC. Oh, it's back. Why is CNBC back? Give me a minute. Give me a minute, buddy. Give me a minute. Okay, now we're talking. Okay. All right. Here we go. How you doing, man?
I'm well. I'm well. Surprisingly,
hanging in there.
The account's not getting slaughtered anymore.
Well, I mean, this is ridiculous. It's unreal what's happening. Seriously, I've seen it all, but TJ, every time I thought I've seen it all. There's a new wrinkle to something, And I don't know if you caught me at the start, but I want to get your opinion on this. Okay, so full transparency, I voted for Trump. Okay,
all right. Me too.
But again, it's not about I make money, market goes down, I make money. It's not about that. So this is my thought process. By declaring economic nuclear war, you are going to hurt the people you're trying to help. Actually, which is the average American, because we know these prices are going to go up with the tariffs.
Big time, yeah.
Do you agree or disagree?
No, I mean, typically, whenever there's a tariff, from my understanding, and I have, maybe like 4 economics classes under my belt, the importer pays the tariff, right? But then the importer, being the company, they could either eat the cost, or they theoretically pass the cost, or they typically pass the cost on to the end consumer, which is people like you and I.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, companies are in business to make money, right? These are not charitable organizations; they're for-profit organizations. So it's like it's either them or us. And you could be like, well, they're going to absorb some of the blow. Well, maybe, but it's still going to be more expensive. Like I was just studying the whole iPhone thing. Like Apple saves a lot of money by manufacturing these things in China. And we don't have that infrastructure right now as a country. Is it something that we should strive for? I think so. But it's also not anything that can be fixed in the next 3 to 4 years. This is probably something that would take 10, 15, 20 years to get back into the roaring 20s mentality. And we all know how that turned out, right? So we do have historical evidence that this is not the best idea.
Well, I do agree with what they're trying to do, right?
Me too. I just
I
don't
agree with the
agree.
manufacturing coming back. I agree with the better
I don't
paying jobs.
agree with.
I agree with all that, but I think
I
that
don't agree with the methodology, though. I
yeah,
don't agree with the way to do it. Like I think there's a way to sell puts and calls.
yeah,
I don't think selling them at the money is the way to go, though. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
want to find something that's going to work, and these like short-term pain, long-term gain. I get all of those things, but you got to also have like your hand on the pulse because you have your victim, right? He's like, the victim, or whatever, the patient came out of surgery, whatever the quote was. But you got to understand how fragile this situation is. Middle America has been dissipating for years. We're carrying trillions of dollars of credit card debt. You still have the student loan fiasco that some people just thought it was miraculously going to go away. Now it's coming back. So now
yeah.
you have that line item on people's balance sheets that wasn't there for the last few years since Biden was president. So there's a lot going on. And then it's just like, okay, if you raise the price of cars, say $10,000, where is that money going to go? Like where is it not going to go? You're going to get rid of a lot of discretionary income for the average Joe.
Yeah.
I'm in a pretty good spot. Does it will I feel it? I kind of, but not really. I mean, just
Well,
truth
no,
be
I
told.
don't think you and I. No, I don't think you and I will feel it. I
But
don't think that.
we're not the majority, though,
Yeah,
Sergio.
but I think you know what it is, though. I do agree with what they're doing because we can't keep doing what we're doing. We can't keep
It's not
kicking the can
sustainable.
down the road. We cannot have 37 trillion in debt. My children don't need to be in debt. Every newborn in this country literally has $125,000 in debt that they're being born with.
It's
We don't
crazy.
need any of that. But also, I don't think you can run the government like you do, like Elon did with Twitter. Walk in there with a kitchen sink, fire 8,000 people, and then Twitter is still running, right? But I don't think you can run a government like a corporation. I think it takes a lot different things to do.
Yeah.
And I do believe in the short-term pain, long-term gain, but then there is a time component to this. It's called midterm elections
Right.
because that's coming up in 18 months. You're going to lose the House, you're going to lose the Senate. Then what? Then we're in a stalemate and nothing will get done. You know what I mean?
But
So,
I think that that's something that we can trade as experienced
yeah,
people in this marketplace. Is I do think that he's up against the gun, right? Like he backed himself into the corner. He's got the midterm, so I'm like, I can like legitimately forecast in my mind 6 months, maybe 12 at the absolute most for the pain. And
yeah,
then things got to be going up and to the right, or you're going to lose the House and the Senate, and your agenda is gone to shit because
yeah,
who's going to support you at that point? You don't have anybody helping you.
yeah,
So, because president can't do much without Congress, that's just the way that it works. The government is
yeah,
very
for sure.
slow to do much.
For sure, yeah. So, yeah, so we agree on most of the stuff, and I think it's becoming a little bit of a, elementary school backyard. Two 6-year-olds are going at it, and
Yeah,
one of them says, "My dad's bigger than you. Who's going to come beat you up?"
yeah,
And that's where we are with China now. It's like, my dad's bigger than you. Who's going to come beat you up? And I know Chinese are not going to back down for sure, right? And this last one that he says, "Oh, I'm going to put another 50% tariff on you now on the 9th." That's 2 days away. So
yeah.
I was looking good, and I did a bunch of trading this morning, and I was like, okay, cool. And now I'm going like, now what do I do? But no, I'm okay. I mean, look, so let's talk a little bit about the markets. Okay, so this is my opinion. Let's see where you are. Market's the best pricing mechanism on the planet.
Right.
It was pricing in a soft landing, which went out of the window with the first 7% down. Now I think market's definitely pricing in a slowdown, and if they do price in a recession, I see SPX going to 3,800. That's
where's
where I'm at.
that percentage wise from here? Because I was
It's at 5,000.
okay.
So we're down 25% from the high, 25%. On NASDAQ, we're down 25%. S&P, we're down 20%.
I legit see 10 to 15% from here to the no bueno.
Yeah.
I mean, because you got to also just look at some valuations. I mean, even with this drawdown, there's a lot of shit that is very expensive there. Like I have my little watch list of like 20, 25 stocks that I like really hawk, like I really watch them closely.
Still, yeah.
And I still haven't seen the screaming deal. Like I just put the brokerage cash up to $6 billion is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not eager to go spend it. Like there's nothing that's like, like it's not Facebook at $90. Remember when that happened?
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not Tesla at 106. You know what I mean?
So I'm sure you have the same thing. I have an investment account, long-term investment account, and I have a trading account. One is mid six figures trading account. The other one is a lot more. But this morning, I don't trade options and anything on the other one. I just go buy stocks. Sure. So I bought 7 stocks this morning in my trading account. I bought Nike at like 54. I bought Google at 142. I bought Kava, which I love, about 72, 73. I bought SOXL. I bought Robin, which is the 2x ETF of Robinhood.
Sure.
So I went to shopping and I committed maybe 30, 35% of the equity because I was 90% cash. Sure. So I put it to work. On the trading account, I bought SoFi, right? So I'm like, okay, I think those, at least like Google, I think valuation is pretty decent on Google, right? At 142, we're selling 15 times. I'm pretty sure Google, I don't think it's sold before. Or SoFi at 9, I think I paid 868 or 870 for it. I think that's reasonable at this level. It could be expensive a month from now. I don't know, but I'm willing to hold on. Or Nike at like 54, I think is reasonable here. But what say you? I mean, what are you doing? Are you selling still puts or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm trying to, where's the little thing you can show right here? Because it's like I got a lot going on. So to me, it's just easier to show what's going on here. So that's going to show the kaleidoscope, right? If you share that right there, it's going to be like a little, and then I'll show the account.
Oh, you want me to give you? Okay, hold on a second. Where is that at? On present or invite. Well, I invited you already. There we go.
I think you just have to add to the stage, or yeah.
What was to say before presenting? Remove other media. Okay, let me remove this one, and I'll present this one. There we go.
So you see this kaleidoscope action, right?
Yeah.
If I go here, you should be able to see the portfolio. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so today's pretty flat. Right? Like if you look at the top, there's 3 accounts that I have on Tasty Trade. I got the big account, the medium, and then the little account. So the big account is pretty flat for the day. When we started, it was like 800,000 for the day negative. And then it went all the way up to 400,000 to the positive whenever supposedly they were going to pause tariffs for like 90 days for like 90 seconds, right? Yeah. So that happened. And so these are the positions on the bottom. It's pretty straightforward. So on Amazon, I got 10,000 shares and I own them at $203.
Yeah.
So that part's no bueno, and that's a bad trade, dude. Like I literally was going to sell these shares at like it's either 234, 235, or 238. I had a limit order, and it was like 15 cents off, and I had it in my note on my phone to just go and do the market order and call it good. I wanted to raise that cash. This was whatever I was transferring everything over from Robinhood to Tasty. And I was like, no, it's Amazon. It'll probably be no lower than like 220 when the transition occurs, right?
Yeah.
That obviously did not work out for me, so that was a mistake. But I've got the covered calls at 210 for May the 16th, and I'm hoping to raise cash. Like I want those to trigger so that I can have more cash in the portfolio. Because if you look at the balance here, you'll see that we have 6,000,003 in the portfolio in cash.
Yeah.
Because it is right now, cash is a position, right?
For sure.
Spark, but I've already put to work. So this cash is committed. So I've committed to buy, and can't even do the math on that. I think it's 200,000 shares of Clean Spark at $6 for May the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So initially got my ass kicked because it was trading at about $8 when I did this trade. So it went down. It didn't hit the strike price or anything, but just because the move was so violent and the price action was favorable. So
implied volatility goes through the roof when that happens, and then you, without the stock moving, you will lose money actually.
But I just need time to go by because this is only 3 days into the trade, right? 5 days into the trade. Yeah. But then I also sold the other side. So I was like, well, I can't get my ass kicked on both sides simultaneously. So I brought in some money on naked calls, or I turned it into a strangle.
Yeah.
So I did 2,000 contracts at $11 because I was like, well, two things can't be true in this scenario. It can't be trading at 6 and at 11 on the same day, right?
So with my experience, I'll tell you this: this is the best time to sell strangles because of such high implied volatility that exists, right? And unfortunately, the thing is, you know, you do those a little shorter term instead of like May, let's say, but then the IV crush is not going to happen because VIX is at like 48. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So while VIX drops to like 35, 30, these will get crushed. Both sides will get crushed. So you got to wait for, you know.
Yes, I'm doing 30 to 45 days, and then I'm managing 21 days out.
21. Oh, you like Tasty does? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm Tasty trading this thing literally. Yeah. So that's what's going on there on Riot. A little more of the same thing. I've got 150,000 shares underwater on the shares because I own them at 851, and they're currently going for 729. So down substantially on the actual shares. Then I've got all the shares for sale at $10 again for May, and then I've got an agreement to buy 100,000 more shares at $7 for May the 16th. So I'm just kind of playing both sides of the defense there. On SoFi, a little bit different. I sold 150,000 shares last week at 965, and I went long via leaps. So I bought 3,000 leaps, 15 for June, lining up with the performance stock units with Anthony Noto, and it kind of put me in line for the midterms as well, or whatever you call them, right? The midterms, because I was like, this shit has to be going up by then. If not, they've lost the House of the Senate. And then also just looking at the actual company, if it's not trading at like $25 by June, Noto doesn't get those crazy bonuses that are offered to him, and he can probably renegotiate and all that stuff. But bottom line is, I'm just playing I'm trading what's in front of me. So I got rid of the shares. I wanted the cash because I wanted to go heavier on Tesla. And I'll show you what I did on Tesla. And then I'm also selling calls against these leaps. Yeah. And then I also sold some cash that puts in the distance, and I did them in the money at $10, and I did 2,500 of those contracts for January. Picked up a crap load of premiums there. So that's how I'm playing SoFi. And then Tesla is the one that I'm trying to build the portfolio around. This is my highest conviction stock. I think it's overvalued. Just to be clear on where I stand, I'm very, very bullish on Tesla. I think it's going to be the largest company in the world, but that's 10 years from now. I'm talking about today. I think it's extremely overvalued for what it is. 70% of its business comes from selling cars. It's got 20 to 30% of revenue. That's a lot of revenue, right? $20 billion. So they got a nice side hustle going. But if you look at where the money flows, the income statement, it's still from selling cars. So you can argue that it's a car company with a hell of a side hustle, right? So I just think that whenever they're more artificial intelligence, robotics, energy, where that's like 50, 60, 70% of the balance sheet, then we can be like, oh shit, that multiple made sense all along. But we're not there yet. That's 3 to 5 years away, in my opinion. So again, I'm just trading what's in front of me. So I've got the 6,500 shares that we're underwater a little bit on, but that could not be the case by Wednesday, or we could be down a lot more. It's Tesla, right? It's very volatile. And then I've got 35 cash secure puts at 220 for May the 16th. You'll see a pattern there. Everything's for May the 16th. And then I've got the calls. I've got a little strangle going, but I got 400 of those bad boys at 300. Because I've got a lot of cash secured puts in the distance. I've got 200 cash secured puts at 175, 35 cash secured puts at 200, and another 200 cash secured puts at 200. I would just manage these like, maybe November of next year or this year and add another 6 months to a year. I'm just trying to collect gobs of premium to lower my cost basis. And then ultimately I want like a 150 handle on the leaps in or the cash curve put leaps in the distance. And at 150, like once I have a 150 handle, I'm willing to take my chances and just get rid of all the cash at that point and turn it into shares and try to ride them up because that's where the massive opportunity is in my mind. If I can get Tesla at 150, if Mr. Market can give me Tesla at 150 with those types of premiums because of the implied volatility that is with this stock, I think I can manufacture the win. And I also feel okay, even from a valuation perspective, because of all the, how vertically integrated Tesla potentially is. They have a lot of levers that they can pull. So if you look at the premiums there, Sergio, it's ridiculous. Like this is a metric.
No, I mean, look, the premiums are there because of general implied volatility of the market, right?
This is something that Tasty shows you. Been on the platform since March the 12th.
Yeah.
And brought over about, 10 million bucks from Robinhood. And it was just 4 stocks in cash, right? It was the 10,000 shares of Amazon, the 150,000 shares of SoFi and Riot, the 6,500 shares of Tesla, 3.3 in cash. That's what came over from Robinhood. And this is net premium so far. It's 917,000 is what I brought through the door. And that's keeping in mind that I bought $654,000 worth of leaps on SoFi and anything that I bought and closed along the way. And then I think this thing goes as far as telling you, like if I put it here on any.
Which leaps did you buy on SoFi? 15, you said?
The 15s for June of 26.
Okay.
Like this thing
How
is
expensive were they? Are they expensive?
I think I paid 217. They're going for like 170 right now.
Okay.
So you'll see it right here. Like this is as transparent as it can get, right? You'll see the transfer from Robinhood, right? You'll see the 3.3 in cash on the very bottom. And then you'll see received 1,000 shares of Amazon via ACAT, received 150,000 long Riot, SoFi, 6,500 shares of Tesla. So that's what came over. And then I started selling puts, dude. The very first put I sold was Tesla.
Out of all these you have, right? I like your thesis on Tesla. I think your patience is going to pay off. The other ones, look, they depend a lot on other things, right? Tesla doesn't depend on much. It's just as long as they execute and this little bit of this bad juju goes away with Elon, right? Because look, you have to admit there is some brand damage done here. I mean, there is no ifs and buts about
but that's the opportunity I was looking for, right?
That's exactly right, right?
So otherwise, excited about Tesla at 350, bro.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were excited at Tesla at like 350. I, in fact, had like a little argument with a friend the other day. He said, it's not a car company. I'm like, bro, it's a car company. Until the robots are cleaning my house, it's a car company. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think that's fine. So so what did I do this morning on my trading account? So my trading account is short term. Like this morning, I traded NVIDIA. I bought some options, sold some. I just sold the last one. I like 4x, right? I bought NVDL, which is the 2x ETF of NVIDIA.
Yes.
I paid 50 cents for them. I sold them at like $1.50 and $2 within literally half hour. I mean, but I do trade quite often. I trade a lot, right? But then other things like SoFi in my trading account, I put a lot of synthetics on today. So let me see what you think about it. So I put a lot of synthetics on Soxol. I put a lot of synthetic, meaning I'm sure you know, but
puts in the money
for people who are watching,
you
sell the puts, you buy the calls.
Yes.
You're basically stock replacement instead of buying the stock. So
you're trying to create 100 deltas without owning shares.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to do 100 delta without putting up money. So so I did it on Soxel, I did it on Robin, I did it on SoFi. Same stocks actually I bought in my investment account, but different strategy. Now I'm going to do it on Yin, actually, YINN, because I'm very bullish on China. What else did I do? Oh, I did it on Google, GGLL, which is the 2x ETF. I like doing the 2x ETFs because not only you get the bang for your buck on the 2x ETF, but you're also, the premiums are there to do it with high implied value. So I put on a shit ton of synthetics on. So I'm just going to wait. And they're all May 16th. If we get a move, we get a move. And if we don't, then we don't. But look, man, trading is different than investing or what you're doing. But I think patience is going to be required here. See, a lot of people who have not seen this movie before, TJ, they're looking for this. You know, the V bottom.
Yeah, the
They're-
V-shaped recovery.
yeah, they're all used to it. Like it happened during the pandemic, right? It was zoop, zoop, right? That was the end of that. And then, but then if you look at it, if you look at the 2008 situation, a real recession, right? If you look at we didn't get in a recession, you know, between 2021, 2022, when the Fed was hiking the rates, you know, from 0 to 5.5, right? That was a nasty drawdown. That lasted a whole year, right? Higher lows, I mean, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. This one, definitely a falling knife, more of a 2008 kind of a situation. But
Agreed.
not every downside of 30% in the market is a recession. However, market is trying to price in a recession now. If we don't, we may get the V. If we do get in a recession, I think we got more to go. That's my opinion, basically. That's where I think we are. But
I agree, man. I think that the one thing that I would just caution people is whenever there's a drawdown, it's a real good opportunity. You should do it all the time, but specifically when there's a drawdown, it's a real good opportunity that you can take to do an inventory of where you're at emotionally, where you stand financially, psychologically, and how do you really feel about the investment thesis? Because here's the thing, Sergio, it's real easy to own a stock when you're making money off of it.
any monkey can make money on the way up.
It's a lot harder to own stocks when you're in the hole. Yep. And if you're not excited about being in a deeper hole because you have no more money, then you have a bankroll management issue that you need to address, right?
For sure.
You're over levered. You're over levered. But if you have managed your bankroll, because that's the one thing that a lot of people that have been watching me for the last few years, they've started to catch on that it seems like TJ's in like the riskiest plays, but he also has a lot of money to kind of like get out of situations. And I'm like, well, dude, it's because bankroll management is a component to my success, right? It's my temperament and my bankroll management. Those things really help me. And we're in the money game. So money is a component, a critical component to what we do. And you need to make sure that you are positioned to buy that dip if your conviction is high. You should be hoping that these stocks go to levels that you're interested in. I mean, dude, this is the business. This is Warren Buffett has said it. This is the only business, if it's a store, this is the only business that when things go on sale, people run out the doors, right?
100%.
This is crazy. Do you imagine being at the mall? Imagine being at Dillard's, Macy's, Nordstrom's, Neiman Marcus, and they announce 50% off. Dude, bro, you're going like Polo's my jam, right? Like I'm going and grabbing all the Ferragamos and Polos I could grab because they're like, imagine you got 1 minute to fill up your basket, so to speak. I mean, I'm gonna go grab as much shit as I can at 50% because I know the value, right?
Yeah.
But well, we don't
that's the thing, though.
Stocks. We don't have that mindset, bro.
But yeah, you know why that is, though? That's because it's it's a lot more emotion involved, right? Yeah. Because when you look at an account, okay, look, this is no sugarcoating anything, right? This is a crash. There is no ifs and buts about it. People go, oh, it's this, is that. I'm like, no, just call it what it is. It's a crash. When you have, okay, like for example, look at one of your favorites, SoFi, that you sold, right? When the stock goes from 18 to 8,
not too long ago, it was trading in the 8s. That's a crap.
Well, that's why I did this. I did the synthetic. That if I do get assigned, so by the way, all the synthetics that I do, I'm willing to own at those prices, less the premium. So if I did a synthetic SoFi, I sold the 10 puts and bought the 12 calls for May at a 1.5 credit. I'm willing to own SoFi at 8.5 all day long, right? Yeah. So that's the thing, though. But the difference is waiting patiently because I see the thing at 18. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pay 18. Then I go to 15. Then I see 12. Then I'm looking at it. Okay, this is like turning into a little bit of a situation here. But I go, if we do get to 10, 9, I'm going to definitely own this thing, right?
Yeah.
But that's what people do. They haven't seen that movie before, and they step up too early. 18 to 14. Ooh, it's a great sale. Let me just go get it. You know what I mean? And then they get nailed. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I like using those real estate analogies. Sergio, it looks like you froze a little bit, or I'm not sure it's me.
So,
But
anyway,
can you hear me?
are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. You look frozen on the screen.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Step up. People step up too soon to the plate. You need to just wait. Patience, patient. Remember, I was on your show. I said the 3 Ps: patience, positioning, and planning.
Yeah.
Have a plan, have a thesis, structure the trade that fits you, your account, and then just sit with it because you're committed now.
Yeah.
But show full commitment because you oversize and then you go, oh shit, my account just went down another $5,000 in the last 8 minutes. I'm like, yeah, because you oversized. You can't handle that.
Yeah,
But
I went super big on Tesla, even large for my account, but also there's $5 million capital injection going into the account over the course of the year.
yeah.
So I just was like, okay, well, I'll sell the puts on margin because I don't have to go pay interest on that.
Yeah.
And I can go grab those premiums, and there's 500,000 hitting this week, and then the leverage will start looking a little bit more balanced.
Well, that's what people do. They don't manage, they don't risk manage properly. And
crazy.
you know what? I don't blame him to a point because they haven't seen anything like this.
Well, a lot
I've
of
seen
people came into the market during COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like that's when I was able to go full time, and that's all they've seen. They saw a little blip in 2022, but they didn't trade. They weren't in it, in 2007, 8, 9 when it was very painful.
Stonks only go up, right? Stonks only go up.
My first exposure to the market shortly thereafter was the .com bubble, right? So like I got in 97, and then I'm like, what the hell's going on in like 2000, right?
Nasty. That's
nasty.
So
I already knew that this thing could be mean, and I remember like it was yesterday. I was in 7th or 8th grade, and Black Monday happened in 1987. I was born in 75.
Yeah.
And our football coach was like, y'all ain't gonna know anything about this, but our retirement, I think it was called a 403B, if I remember, because he was a coach. So it wasn't a 401k. I want to say he used a 403B or something. He said they're more like 203Bs right now. And he was just like making a joke, right? And he was just like, so
there was a tweet yesterday. I think I saw. He goes, "My 401k now is just 401." I mean, that's the other thing that's going to happen. By the way, like a lot of people, because we just ended the quarter, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to get their paper statements now. People who still do, they're going to look at their 401k or pension plan and go, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
And that's what's going to also slow down the economy because people are going to go, oh, wait a minute, I'm retiring in 2 years. My 401k just went down like by 30%. I'm just not going to go spend money. I'm not going to go buy this shit. I'm not going to go buy that shit until I need it. So I don't know. I think all this will pass. We'll look back at this, but then, having experience is so important. Like this morning, I was so calm, so cool. I'm like, okay, I'm committed at this. I'm committed to this. I'm committed to this. I'm going to put them on. They work, they work. They don't work, they don't work. But at these levels, I'm committed. Most people can't commit. That's the damn problem they have. They commit. And the other thing they can't do is they can't take losses. You got to take a loss. Once in a while, you got to take a loss. Because
I repositioned on Friday, Sergio. I took about $300,000 in losses on NEO and SOXL.
Absolutely.
Because I wanted to reposition for Tesla.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
But see, you can do that. Most people, you know what they do, right? You know these types of markets, you know what they do, TJ? They make traders into long-term investors.
Yeah. Bag holders.
I gotta hold on. It will go up one day. One day it will go up. I'm like, oh, okay, good luck. But that's the problem.
I booked a loss on SOXL and NEO, so I'm on probation for now 29 days, right? I can't touch it until
30-day wash sale.
Yeah. So because I
had NEO, I think you can stay away from. I'm not sure about
but I had 2.2 million that I had locked in profits on Robinhood early on because of the leaps that played out very well in SoFi.
Yeah.
So I saw the opportunity to book some losses to kind of offset some of those cap gains. And then I was like, I want a situation, dude. Like I have this vision. And I love me some SoFi and I love me some Riot because I'm bullish on Bitcoin. And Amazon was just a glorified savings account that isn't working out. I mean, it's truth be told, because I'm not like a big, I think Amazon's going to be the first company that does $1 trillion a year in revenue. So that'll be a big news cycle. But what I'm saying is, like, if I'm in it or I'm not in it, it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't have that. Whereas I want to be
But you said that on your show a few times, and I listen to you once in a while, more often actually than not, is you look at a stock, right? Okay, so SoFi, okay, let's take Amazon and SoFi.
Yeah.
Today's pricing. Amazon 170, whatever it is, and SoFi 9, whatever. Which one doubles first?
SoFi.
Exactly, right? That's the thing, right?
Yeah, I look at that all the time. They say price don't matter. I'm like, to you.
Well, no, it matters. It matters quite a bit. My upside means a lot more than what my downside is. I mean,
Yeah.
on the downside, by the way, from this level, could Amazon go to 90, 50% down from here, and could SoFi go to 5? Yes.
Yeah.
But on the upside, I think that's the key. Like, will Amazon go to 350? Or SoFi will go to 3 or 20 first or 18 first. I think it'll be SoFi for many reasons. One of the reasons, obviously, is market capitalization. Obviously. Another thing that I like SoFi at these levels, not at the nosebleed levels, that I like is because I have another thesis that I'm actually going to put a trade on shortly. I think interest rates are going to go down a lot in this country, not for the wrong reasons, meaning we're going to go in a recession and Fed is going to be forced to cut the rates, right? Lower rates are good for the banks. Their margins increase, right? And SoFi's capital structure is such that, I think their margins, yes, there will be more defaults. I get that. But then I think it will wash itself out with lower interest rates and their margins going up. So to me, I like SoFi at like 8.5. I like it a lot. At 15, not as much. At 8.5, I really like it quite a bit. So
no, I think at this level, the risk reward on SoFi is very, very hard to deny. I got to run, man. I have 5 FaceTimes back to back that I got to knock out. But
thank you for coming on, my man.
I just wanted to come on here, man, and just say that this is the time to be in your highest conviction plays, because I'm telling you, I believe, not financial advice, but I believe that we're going to get there. We're on a plane and we're going to get there, but there's a lot of turbulence in the forecast. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So it's easier to hold on to a stock that you really believe in. You believe in the moat, the management, they have enough money. You believe in the market sentiment, even if it's Tesla, it's going to be okay long term. Like, you got to make sure that all of that is in your favor so that you can ride out and weather out the storm, right? You got to weather the storm.
Well, if your thesis has not changed, you do not divorce. That's what it is. Simple as that. If your thesis changes, by all means, clean it up, move on, because it's going to take a lot more energy not to clean it up, and money and mental energy and all kinds of things. But if you have a thesis, you structure the correct trade, there's no reason to abandon that trade if your thesis still exists. So that's all I have to say.
I appreciate you, man. I'll try to come on again, man. And on
I'll do the same with yours.
On Wednesday.
Absolutely, I'll do the same with yours. We'll give him some wisdom.
All right, appreciate you, man. Have a good one, guys.
All right, you too. Take care now.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's TJ. So Mojo, you want to come on? The link is up there. Big money talkers. Okay, my sub 10,000. Why significantly less today? What did you do? I put all my trades on the chat. All you had to do is do what I did. I don't know what else I can do. I don't know. Why? What did you do? What do you own? You just don't like selling things, man. You guys want to come on? There's the link up there, right there. Here, I'll put the link again. I'll be on for another half hour, maybe. If you guys want to come on, grab it. If you don't want to come on, don't grab it. Here, the link. So what did you do, Mojo? What did you do again? You did not sell things that you bought, such as Baba, probably. Or whatever. I don't know. Where's the market at? I don't even know where the market's at. Let's take a look at where the market's at. If you guys want to come on, grab the link. I got about half more hour to go. Then I got to focus and do some put credit spreads on SPX. Are we rallying? Are we not rallying? Let's take a look. Add to the stage. Take this off. I don't know. Let's take a look. Let's get rocking. Yeah, I didn't do, of course, I didn't do yin and rally the whole point. God dang it. Why don't you pull the trigger? That's okay. I'll pull it tomorrow. Yeah, yin was a good trade. Where's TLT at? Sold the last one. TLT 90.15. Give me an 8 number before that. I'm all over that thing. Back again. All right, let's see where we are. 485 on MSTU. Well, we got the cover calls. I'm married to that until Friday. Some bitch. What else we got here? Soxel 965. Great. 1098 high. Man. Well, I'm short the puts, long the calls, so that's working out, obviously. Robin 904. I like it. I still can't believe I sold those 8s at 4.5. I'm looking at it. I still don't believe it. How is that possible that I sold those puts at 4.5? Maybe it got down to, what did it get down? Oh, it got down to 605. That's why. Okay, makes sense then. SoFi 1003. I'm short the 10 puts, long the 10 calls, 12 calls. That's turned out fine. And VDL. Luis, they're 145, 175. I sold the last ones. $1.50. Luis, you may be deep in the money tomorrow. I hope this fucking thing goes up another 3 and there'll be $3 tomorrow, Luis. See, sometimes mistakes cost you money, but sometimes mistakes make you money. Let's see. Let's see if we're rallying. Yes, we're green. Okay. We are green. Well, day's not over yet, but if we do go green with a ridiculous amount of volume today, which is higher than on Friday, that's a key reversal day. Actually, today's volume is less than Friday's. Well, by the time we close, though, and we have 2 more hours to go, volume may equal it. This is what bear markets do, man. A little face ripper rally. We have a gap. We have so many gaps to close. I'm definitely a seller about 526. So we're about 5% to go. That's where we clean up. And those options, synthetics I put on, are to be traded. They're not to be married to. For sure. There's so much volatility that, yeah. Luis, you're going to be in the money on those tomorrow. Hang in there. One day. Yeah, I will, where am I at Soxel? You know, clean it up, have the account get up there, and then go all over it again. Yeah, that's good. So far, so good. Let's see how we end. I'm definitely going to do some put credit spreads today at some point. Okay, any of you want to come on? You're going to be shy? Nobody wants to come on? No? Why not? All right, let's take a look. I'll answer a couple of... What's up, Sergio? What's up? Okay, let's see. What's up, Sergio? You think another Japanese carry trade is on the way? No. Yeah, well, no, but USD is collapsing. Actually, the guy, whatever the Trump administration is doing is working. It's working against. They want to lower interest rates by putting us in a recession. Rates are shooting up today. They want strong dollar. Dollar is collapsing. Actually, and let me take a look at the chart of the dollar. I mean, at some point, they're going to understand, okay, the world is not just US. Okay, not just trade-wise, trading partners, things like that. There's so much structured finance products that are floating cross borders. The world is not the world that was in 2008. It's a completely different world today, right? And to just be naive about it, and there's so much leverage in the system too. I'm not talking now debt and deficits and things like that. In the markets, there's so much leverage. Why do you guys think this drop, falling knife happened? It's just all that leverage getting cleaned up, right? Risk off. Margin calls. People are getting liquidated right and left. That's why you wait patiently. The 3 P's: patience, positioning, and planning. Like I was talking to TJ. I like SoFi at 8.5. I don't like it at 18. Will it get to 8.5? It got to 8.5. Then I react and I execute. I like Soxel at 8. Did it get to 8? It got even lower, 725. Or I like Kava at 72. I like Nike at 53. I like Google at 142. But those numbers I had in mind, I didn't decide on those numbers like 3 days ago, right? I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, at these levels, these make sense to me. But otherwise, I have 10,000 other stocks that I can trade, right? That's what people don't understand. Patience, man. You got to wait. Things will come to you. So, Mojo, why is your account significantly less today? What did you do? I don't know. From what I know, it shouldn't be that bad. I don't know what else you got, but it shouldn't be that bad. The only one following me seems like Jason and Luis are following me. I think Jason made some money today on Goldman Sachs. Luis definitely made money on AAPU and NVDL. And I'm hoping NVDL closes strong and opens up, gaps up $3, and then he'll quadruple, quintuple his options. But what else? That's about it, man. I'm all right with what I'm doing. I'm reasonably happy. And yeah. TLT, yeah. I'm kind of waiting myself. Yeah. Any 8 handle, I'm doing it. Hopefully maybe 89 range. Again, patience. Gotta have patience. Can't just, you gotta wait for your spots. Things will get there, especially in volatile markets like this. People go, oh, it will never get there. I might actually get there quicker. Now, did I think Robin would get to 6? No. I was happy to own it at 8, but I was happy to own it, period. I'll take all the ROBN because I like Hood, the underlying shares. I'll take all ROBN at 8. Yeah, I could go to 6. I'll be down 20%, 25%, but then I'll sell options. I'll get myself out of it. But at least I didn't get stuck in 19 from 10 days ago. It was 19. You wait. But then some of you may say, what if it keeps going up? I'm like, okay, it keeps going up. It'll go up without me. You have to have discipline. There's no FOMO. There's no YOLO. There's none of that. I don't do any of that. Why would I? There's other stocks. Simple. And if I have 20 put on the market, yeah. Looking back. I had 600 puts, so 600 SPY March puts. Yeah, probably are. Right? That's why, that's okay. You got to learn. You got it. Anytime, my man. Patience. Everything will work out. Just got to have patience. So, one last look, and then I'm going to say goodbye. You all have a good day. I'm going to go do my little cup of coffee, take a break. It's tiring, by the way. I was up at 5:30 today. I was going to go live at 6:15, so watch you guys put the trades on. But then I go, if I do that, then I won't be able to focus. I don't want to F up. Are you going to do? Yes. Well, it's only 11, so maybe around noon, I'll do Strangle. Because I think we're going to be in I think a range is established for the day. So sell call credit spread, sell put credit spread, and then have him go with 0 DTEs. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. In fact, let me take a look. Let's see where we are. Let's see what we can do with that. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Didn't do anything other than sell MSTU put. Okay. Okay, so let's sell the calls. The rally did happen, 575. I saw calls this morning because you need to wake up, Mojotronics. I sold the $5 calls at 75 cents, and I sold the 550 calls at 55 cents. They're like, whatever. So if it gets taken away, it gets taken away. But you need to wake up. Wake up. 4 low, 575 high. $4 stock. Think about it. You got to wake up and do the calls or leave them overnight. 5,200 calls look good. To sell, you mean? I don't know. I'll take a look. Okay, let's take a look. SPX. Well, we're not rallying anyway. SPX. Yeah, 5,200 and 4,800 looks pretty good. I think the daily range is set. I'm pretty sure the daily range is set. Okay, 5082. No, actually 5,200 is pretty close. We could get there by the end of the day, but I'll do them around noon. So let's take a look. We are doing April 7th today. April 7th. Should have done the yen, peoples. April 7th. We're at 5082. I think 4850 looks reasonable. So this is how you guys do this. So 4850 to 4825, they're only like 30 cents. If I go 4900, that's, what is that? That's 200. That's 4%, 3.5% from here. I think 4,900 would be safe. So 4,900, 48.75 is about $1. Well, let's take a look. 4,900, 48.75, and I wouldn't do the 5,200s. I would do 5,250s probably. Yep. 5,250. 25 wide. 5,250. 5,275. Okay, 165 credit. So as long as it stays between 5,250 and 4,900, 25 wide wings. 5,250, 4,900 body for the end of the day. That's 11%, bro. Wow. Somebody's paying me $1.60 for that. How much is that going to cost me? Probably $11,000. I was pretty close, 11,700. Yeah. This is called the Iron Condor, people. Body is 5,250 and 4,900. We're right in the goddamn middle. No, actually, yeah, just about. That's a good trade. I will do those about noon, Vic. I won't do it now. Time decay is not going to happen on those until the last hour. So don't jump the gun. My advice, whatever is worth. I'm pissed about yen. I should have done it. Let's see. Why didn't I do it? Because I did a lot this morning. I don't want to go red. And with April 9th coming up, I don't want to chance anything. 2403. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. Anywhere around 20. All over it. So don't forget, people. I'm not coming on until Friday. Or maybe I'll come on Wednesday. Selling the 20 puts, buying the 25 calls, selling the 30 calls for May. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, peoples. Much love. Hope you guys survive this crash. Yeah. Back at XRP. I don't know what to say. I don't know anything about that. I'll just buy my Bitcoin every Monday. Who's coming? Ah, there he is. Okay. What's up?
I just wanted to say hi as you were going off.
How are you?
I had technical difficulties with my camera.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to hold you on any longer.
No, I'll say hi.
Yeah, just accumulatively, all the stuff I've been holding, like a firm.
Why?
Well, just everything went down.
I know, but why are you holding it?
So, like, yeah. Because it was doing so good. Because well, I'm not going to sell it now. That's for sure. I have to get something back.
See, this is that's the thing. What you said, right? You just trader to investor.
I know.
Okay, you did this. Okay, I think you did this a couple times before, right? You. What is my number one rule? As you know me, don't let green go to red, right? Yes.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay, and you keep doing it. But I wonder why. Why? Why do you keep doing it?
Because I'm just
because you don't trust the system. You're an optimistic person. One day it will be okay.
Well, not with the current presidency.
Well, I wouldn't worry about the president. But if you bought a firm at 60 and it's at 80, 90, whatever it was,
right?
And then it goes down to 65. Why wouldn't you just take 8?
I don't know.
Take the profit.
I mean, I have look at Hal, man. I'm still holding that. That's 62.
Yeah, I was holding it too. I was holding it too, but then
here's everything I have. I have Hal, SDY, VOO, Billy, POLL, Firm.
Okay, why? None of those are in my account. Do you follow me? You follow me, right?
I do, but not that close.
And none of those are in my account.
Of course, I have Lunas doesn't count. There's not much of that. BidX, MSTU. Anyway,
the only thing we have in common is MSTU.
Right. Yeah. Now I was thinking about doing the calls. Selling the calls. But I would just break even basically if it strikes at, what is it, 5? Is that the one I was looking at?
No, you will not be. You will be making 10%.
Trade options. Okay, well, let me study it more. I won't keep you on any longer.
Well, no, I
just wanted to come and show support.
When things move, right? Okay, it could go to 7. I'm not saying it won't, but all I'm saying is collecting 7%, 8% a week is the proper thing to do. So,
right, of course,
collect it. And if you get taken away, you got to be happy with 7% a week. That's you. If you did that with your portfolio, the whole portfolio, you would be a 4x year for you. But you like buying things and never selling things.
Right.
Okay, these are stocks. These are not guitars.
Right.
They go up, they go down. And if you keep doing it, you will not enjoy this game. So
okay, what about buying or selling the calls, $5 strike calls?
Sure, if it moves up to what's 10%, 50 cents?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if they get to 50 cents.
Yeah, my cost is $4.95 right now.
Okay.
So
okay, sell the 5s for 50 cents. Are they 50 cents?
Oh no, they're only 40 now. Unless
okay, put an order at 50 because I sold those at 75 cents this morning.
Wow. Yeah, I have a problem with. Unfortunately, I have to catch the late hours with Uber. to
I get
get
it. Put
any
an
money
order
until I'm
in.
sleeping in. I'm sleeping
Put
in
an
too late.
order in the day before. All these trades that I did today,
Uh-huh.
all of them, which I posted on the chat group, I already entered it last night. I did not
Okay.
enter any trades this morning except one.
Well, that's why you're a professional, and I'm just
No, that's why I want to make money. I don't want to. I look.
I get it. Okay.
A lot of work goes into it, right? So I look at
course.
it, I figure it out, and I put them in because
Okay.
I am committed to it. There is no God probably can't change my mind, but when it happens, just automatic. It just happens. It's there. Order is there. The only one I did today was MSTU, actually. When it went from 420 all the way to 570, I go, hell with this thing. I sold 5 of the 5s and 5 of the 5.5s. So
Okay,
now,
right now I'm asking 50 cents. I'm gonna do this
Okay.
$5 call right now. I'm
All right.
executing. Review order done. Okay.
All right. So if it gets
So-
to 50 cents, you sell it. If it's above 5, they take it away. If it's below 5, you do it again next week. You do
That's
it again
why.
next week.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to come on quickly. I know you're trying to go, but thanks for that confirmation. That's why I'm basically coming on
No, absolutely, man.
to get the little
Anytime.
kick in the ass to do the sell.
Well, look at Luis. Luis is like made shit ton of money today because he followed me on a couple of the trades.
Uh-huh.
And hopefully it's not going to cost him because he overspent in his account.
Right.
But all I'm saying to you guys is this. Stocks are to be bought and sold. Done. The NVIDIAs, the Palantirs that go up 5, 6, 8x come only once in a lifetime. Stocks are always to be bought and sold. Done. So with that mindset, I'm going to say goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
I'm
Be
still
safe.
listening, learning.
Be safe.
Bye. Thanks.
All right, folks. Long live stream. I'm going to go have a cup of coffee, take a break. Seems like things are calming down. Closing is important today. Hopefully we don't sell off like, you know what? I would really like a closer to the high or past halfway high close today. Please, stock market gods. Just listen to me once in a while. I would like it like we had a 11% range today. Okay, 11% ranges don't happen at middles or either tops or bottoms. And if this is the top, we're in deep shit. Everything I bought is going to eat. So we'll hope we last this little bounce. We spend some time here. April 9th comes. Trump doesn't put the 50% extra on Jinping Yi, whatever the heck his name is. And they kiss and make up. It doesn't look like it. At the moment, they're like two bullies in a playground. Like that was my concern actually with Trump, but at least he's doing what he said he was going to do. I'm buying lots of BTC. Yeah, man. I think it's okay. I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm more familiar with stocks than BTC, but I do like BTC because even with the best of what this administration can do, I still think that's going to go higher. Anyway, all right. Hats off. Be safe. Hopefully you guys didn't blow accounts past week. That's it. Stay safe, stay healthy. That's the most important thing. Money comes, money goes. I know world goes around, very difficult without money, but health is important. So see you guys.